First Contact Fallout. The day the Zarkonian ships appeared in Earth's sky was meant to be ordinary. Dr. Elena Reyes, lead xenolinguist at the Global Space Communication Center, GSCC, had been sipping her morning coffee and scanning routine deep space transmissions when the alarm blared. Red lights flashed across the facility as technicians scrambled to their stations. "What's going on?" Elena demanded, her coffee mug clattering to the floor. Her assistant, Jake, rushed over, his face pale. "Multiple objects just entered Earth's atmosphere. They're not ours, Dr. Reyes." Elena's heart raced as she turned to the main view screen. Sleek, silver crafts unlike anything humanity had ever constructed were descending through the clouds. Their smooth, elongated forms defied conventional aerodynamics, seeming to glide effortlessly despite their massive size. "Alert the UN Security Council and initiate First Contact Protocol," Elena ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. Years of training kicked in as she moved to the central communication hub. "Let's not jump to conclusions. They might be peaceful." As if in response to her optimism, a deafening boom echoed across the sky. One of the alien ships had fired an energy pulse, obliterating a military satellite. The message was clear: this was no peaceful encounter. Chaos erupted worldwide as governments scrambled to respond. Military jets scrambled, only to be swatted from the sky like insects. Ground-based weapons proved equally ineffective, their missiles dissolving harmlessly against the aliens' energy shields. In the GSCC, Elena worked feverishly to decipher the aliens' language. "There's a pattern to their transmissions," she muttered, her fingers flying across the holographic interface. "It's unlike anything we've theorized, but there's definitely a structure." Hours passed as the world held its breath. The alien ships hovered ominously over major cities, their intentions unclear beyond the initial show of force. Elena's team worked tirelessly, feeding data into the quantum computers that formed the backbone of Earth's xenolinguistic efforts. Finally, a breakthrough. "I've got it," Elena exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement and fear. "It's not just a language. It's a multi-layered communication system. Audio, visual, and something else. Something our sensors can barely detect." She quickly composed a message, hoping against hope that her interpretation was correct. "This is Dr. Elena Reyes of Earth. We seek peaceful communication. Please cease hostilities." The response was immediate and unexpected. A holographic figure materialized in the center of the GSTC. A tall, slender being with iridescent skin and eyes that seemed to swirl with galaxies. "I am Zarkon, emissary of the Galactic Concordat." The being spoke, its voice resonating on multiple frequencies. "Your species has been deemed a threat to cosmic harmony. Surrender now, and you may be assimilated. Resist, and you will be eradicated." Elena's mind raced. This wasn't just first contact. It was an ultimatum. "Emissary Zarkon," she began, choosing her words carefully. "There must be a misunderstanding. Humanity has only recently achieved interplanetary travel. How could we possibly threaten cosmic harmony?" The alien's eyes narrowed, swirling faster. "Your potential for chaos is unmatched. We have observed your history, your conflicts, your reckless advancement. The Concordat has decided. Earth must be controlled or destroyed." As Elena struggled to formulate a response, alarms blared once again. Jake rushed to a console, his eyes widening in disbelief. "Dr. Reyes, you need to see this." On the main screen, a stunning sight unfolded. A swarm of small, agile craft had risen from hidden bases around the globe. Unlike the clumsy jets from earlier, these vessels moved with incredible speed and precision, weaving between the alien ships and landing precise strikes against their weak points. "Impossible," Zarkon muttered, genuine surprise evident in its multitonal voice. "Your technology is primitive. You cannot possess such weapons." Elena felt a surge of pride and hope. Humanity had secrets of its own, it seemed. "Emissary," she said, her voice stronger now. Perhaps it's time we had a real conversation. Humanity may surprise you yet. The battle raged in the skies above, a David and Goliath struggle that defied all expectations. Earth's hidden fleet, a secret project born from reverse-engineered technology found in classified locations around the world, held its own against the alien armada. In the GSCC, Elena and her team worked tirelessly to improve communication with the Zarkonians. As the fighting continued, they began to unravel the complexities of the alien language, discovering layers of meaning hidden in subspace frequencies and quantum entanglements. It's not just words, Elena explained to the UN Security Council in an emergency holographic session. Their language is tied to their technology, their very perception of reality. Each communication is a packet of data that includes emotional context, historical references, and even possible future outcomes. The implications were staggering. Humanity wasn't just facing a technologically superior force. They were confronting a species that experienced reality in a fundamentally different way. As the first day of the invasion stretched into the second, Earth's defenders began to gain ground. The secret fleet, commanded by the brilliant and unorthodox Admiral Kira Chen, employed tactics that seemed to border on precognition. They're not used to unpredictability, Admiral Chen explained in a secure briefing. Their technology, their entire way of thinking, is based on calculated outcomes. We're introducing chaos into their systems. Elena nodded, beginning to understand. Their language, their entire communication method, it's all about consensus and predefined patterns. They literally can't compute our capacity for random innovation. This realization became the key to Earth's defense. As the Zarkonian ships struggled to adapt to humanity's erratic tactics, gaps in their defenses began to appear. Admiral Chen's forces pressed their advantage, disabling key enemy vessels and forcing others to retreat to high orbit. In the GSCC, Elena made another breakthrough. Emissary Zarkon, she called out, using the full spectrum of communication channels they'd deciphered. We understand now. Your fears, your intentions, they're based on an incomplete picture of humanity. The holographic figure of Zarkon appeared once more, its swirling eyes now a turbulent storm of confusion and frustration. Explain, it demanded. Your society, your entire galactic culture, is built on predictability and harmony. Elena began. You saw our conflicts, our apparent chaos, as a threat. But that very unpredictability is our strength. It drives our innovation, our ability to adapt. She gestured to the screens showing the ongoing battle. Look at how quickly we've adapted to your technology, how we've held our own against a vastly superior force. Imagine what we could accomplish as allies rather than enemies. Zarkon was silent for a long moment, its form flickering as if under great strain. Your words, they do not compute, it finally said. And yet the evidence is undeniable. We have underestimated you, humans. A new alarm sounded, and Jake's voice rang out with a mix of fear and awe. Massive energy spike detected. Something's coming through. The sky above Earth shimmered, and a colossal ship unlike any seen before phased into existence. It dwarfed even the largest Zarkonian vessels, its surface a mesmerizing dance of light and shadow. The Arbiter, Zarkon whispered, genuine fear evident in its voice. The highest authority of the Galactic Concordat. Your actions have drawn their direct attention. Elena felt the weight of history on her shoulders. This moment would define humanity's place in the cosmos. Then let us face this Arbiter together, she said, surprising herself with her own boldness. Let's show them what humanity and Zarkonians can accomplish when we work in harmony rather than conflict. As the massive ship of the Arbiter descended through the atmosphere, a tense calm settled over the battlefield. Earth's defenders regrouped, while the remaining Zarkonian ships stood down. In the GSCC, Elena and her team prepared for the most important diplomatic encounter in human history. The first day of alien contact had brought destruction and fear. But as the second day dawned, there was a glimmer of hope. Humanity had proven its worth among the stars, demonstrating a resilience and adaptability that had shocked even their would-be conquerors. Whatever came next, Earth would face it standing tall, ready to claim its place in the grand tapestry of galactic civilization. The silent resistance. The arrival of the Arbiter had not brought the resolution Earth had hoped for. Instead, it ushered in a tense period of uneasy occupation. The massive ship of the Galactic Concordat loomed in low orbit, a constant reminder of humanity's precarious position in the cosmic order. Dr. Elena Reyes stood at the window of her new office, a sterile room in what was once the United Nations headquarters. Now it served as the central point of contact between humanity and their protectors. She watched as a Zarkonian shuttle glided silently through the New York skyline, its iridescent surface reflecting the setting sun. "Another day in paradise," muttered Jake, her ever-present assistant, as he entered with a stack of datapads. Elena sighed, turning from the window. "Any news from the Resistance?" Jake's eyes darted nervously to the corners of the room, where alien monitoring devices hummed softly. He tapped a complex sequence on his datapad, activating a subspace interference field, a little trick they'd reverse-engineered from Zarkonian technology. "Admiral Chen's team has made progress," he whispered, leaning in close. "They've identified a pattern in the Concordat's quantum communication network. There might be a way to piggyback our own messages without detection." Elena's heart raced with excitement and fear. In the months since the Arbiter's decree that Earth would be guided towards galactic harmony, a silent resistance had formed. Led by the indomitable Admiral Kira Chen, it worked tirelessly to undermine the alien occupation and find a way to reassert Earth's independence. "What about Project Babel?" Elena asked, referring to their ongoing efforts to fully decrypt the multilayered alien language. Jake's face lit up. "That's the best part. Dr. Patel thinks she's cracked the quantum entanglement layer. If she's right, we might be able to not just understand their communications, but manipulate them." A knock at the door interrupted their clandestine conversation. Jake quickly deactivated the interference field as Elena called out, "Enter." Zarkon, the former emissary now serving as liaison, glided into the room, its swirling eyes fixed on Elena with an unreadable expression. "Dr. Rice, the Arbiter requests your presence." Elena steeled herself, nodding curtly. These meetings with the enigmatic leader of the Galactic Concordat were always tense affairs. As she followed Zarkon to the waiting shuttle, her mind raced with the possibilities Jake had just shared. Could this be the breakthrough they'd been waiting for? The journey to the Arbiter's ship was brief but awe-inspiring. As they approached the massive vessel, Elena marveled at its impossible geometry, sections of it seeming to fold in on themselves in ways that defied human perception. Inside, she was led through corridors that shifted and realigned until they reached the central chamber. The Arbiter, a beam of pure energy contained within a vaguely humanoid form, pulsed with power. "Elena Reyes," the Arbiter's voice resonated on multiple frequencies. "Your species continues to perplex us." Elena bowed slightly, a gesture she knew carried weight in Concordat culture. "How may I assist you, Arbiter?" The energy being shifted, tendrils of light reaching out to manipulate holographic displays. "We have detected anomalies in the quantum harmonization process. Your people resist the natural flow of galactic order." "Change is difficult for any species," Elena replied carefully. "Humanity has a long history of valuing individual freedom. The concept of surrendering to a larger harmony is challenging for many." The Arbiter's form flickered, a sign Elena had learned to interpret as frustration. "Your potential for chaos threatens the delicate balance we have maintained for eons. Yet, your adaptability intrigues us. It is a quality the Concordat has not encountered in millennia." As the Arbiter spoke, Elena's mind raced. The Resistance had theorized that the Concordat's insistence on harmony might be its weakness. If they could introduce enough chaos into the system, could they force a revaluation of humanity's place in the galactic order? "Perhaps," Elena ventured, "our resistance is not a flaw, but a feature." Adaptability requires a certain amount of disorder, doesn't it? Without challenge, without change, how can a civilization truly grow? The Arbiter's form pulsed rapidly, and for a moment, Alina feared she had overstepped. But then, incredibly, it laughed. A sound like crystal chimes in a quantum storm. You echo arguments made long ago, human, the Arbiter said, its tone almost wistful. Before the Concordat, before the Great Harmonization, your words stir long-dormant algorithms. Hope surged in Alina's chest, but she kept her expression neutral. I'm honored that you find value in our perspective, Arbiter. Is there a way we might demonstrate the positive aspects of our unique approach? The energy being was silent for a long moment, its form swirling in complex patterns. Finally, it spoke. We will consider your proposal. But be warned, Alina Reyes. The Concordat's patience is not infinite. If your species cannot be harmonized, more drastic measures may be necessary. As Alina was escorted back to the shuttle, her mind whirled with the implications of this conversation. She had to get word to Admiral Chen and the Resistance. This could be the opening they needed. Back on Earth, in a hidden bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Kira Chen received Alina's encrypted message. The grizzled veteran, her face scarred from countless battles, both against the Zarkonians and in the years before, studied the quantum-encrypted data with intense focus. It's risky, she muttered to her assembled team of engineers, scientists, and soldiers, the core of Earth's resistance. But it might be our only shot. Dr. Samira Patel, the quantum physicist responsible for their recent breakthroughs, spoke up. If we can introduce enough variance into their communication network, it might create a cascade effect. Their entire system of control relies on predictability and harmony. And we're anything but predictable, Chen said with a grim smile. All right, people. We've got work to do. Project Babel just became our top priority. I want options for disrupting their quantum network on my desk in 48 hours. As the team dispersed, Chen turned to her second-in-command, a young hacker prodigy named Zeke. What's the status on our sleeper cells? Zeke's fingers danced across his holographic interface. Ready and waiting, Admiral. We've got people in place in every major Concordat installation on Earth. They're just waiting for the signal. Chen nodded, her eyes hard with determination. Good, because when we make our move, we'll only get one shot at this. If we fail, she didn't need to finish the thought. Everyone knew the stakes. Humanity's freedom, perhaps its very existence, hung in the balance. In the days that followed, a tense energy gripped the hidden pockets of resistance around the globe. In labs and bunkers, on repurposed alien vessels, and in the depths of cyberspace, humans worked tirelessly to prepare for their moment. Alina continued her delicate dance of diplomacy, probing for weaknesses in the Concordat's ideology, while maintaining the facade of cooperation. Each conversation with Zarkon, or the Arbiter, was a high-stakes game of multidimensional chess, with the fate of humanity riding on every word. And all the while, in the quantum realm that underpinned the Concordat's technology, minute fluctuations began to appear. Imperceptible at first, they grew slowly, a rising tide of chaos in the ordered sea of alien data. The silent resistance was making its move. The question remained, would it be enough to shake the foundations of a galactic empire, or would humanity's bold gambit lead to its final, tragic harmony with the cosmic order? As the sun set on another day of occupation, Admiral Chen looked out over the hidden valley that housed their base. In the distance, the sleek forms of reverse-engineered alien craft stood ready, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. We're coming for you, she whispered to the stars above, where the Arbiter's ship glinted like a false moon. And we'll show you just how strong chaos can be. The stage was set. The pieces were in motion. And in the silent spaces between quantum bits, a revolution was brewing, one that would echo across the galaxy and redefine the very nature of cosmic harmony. Operation Whisper, the underground command center hummed with nervous energy. Admiral Kira Chen stood before a holographic display of Earth, dotted with pulsing lights representing Concordat strongholds. Her weathered face was illuminated by the soft glow, eyes narrow with concentration. "Status report," she barked, her voice cutting through the low murmur of activity. Dr. Samira Patel stepped forward, her usually immaculate lab coat wrinkled from days of non-stop work. "Project Babel is ready, Admiral. We've successfully mapped the quantum entanglement patterns of the Concordat's communication network. With this, we can inject our own data streams without detection." Chen nodded, a hint of a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "And the package?" Zeke, the young hacker prodigy, grinned as he pulled up a new holographic window. "Oh, it's a beauty, Admiral. We're calling it the Chaos Engine. Once unleashed, it'll introduce cascading errors into their system. Not enough to crash it outright, but enough to create confusion and doubt," Chen finished. "Excellent work, both of you. Now let's bring in our ace." As if on cue, a secure quantum channel opened, revealing the face of Dr. Elena Reyes. She looked exhausted but determined, the weight of her double life as both collaborator and resistance spy evident in the dark circles under her eyes. "Elena," Chen greeted her. "Are you in position?" Elena nodded, her voice low. "I'm aboard the Arbiter's ship for another cultural exchange meeting. Their guards are distracted. I can access a primary node of their quantum network from here." Chen's eyes gleamed with fierce pride. "You've done incredible work, Doctor. Your insights into their psychology have been invaluable. Are you ready to light the fuse?" "Ready as I'll ever be," Elena replied, a mix of excitement and fear in her voice. "Just be careful down there. Once this starts, the Concordat's response could be severe." "We're counting on it," Chen said grimly. "All right, people. Operation Whisper is a go. Elena, you have the honors." On the Arbiter's ship, Elena's fingers danced across an alien interface, inputting a complex sequence that would grant her access to the quantum node. Her heart pounded in her ears as she worked, acutely aware of the enormity of what they were about to attempt. With a final keystroke, she opened the channel, initiating upload. Now, back in the underground base, Zeke let out a whoop of triumph as his screens lit up with confirmation. "Package away. The Chaos Engine is in the wild, baby." For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, almost imperceptibly at first, the holographic display of Earth began to flicker. The pulsing lights representing Concordat strongholds wavered, some blinking out entirely before reappearing in different locations. "It's working," Dr. Patel breathed, her eyes wide with wonder. "The quantum fluctuations are spreading faster than we anticipated. Their entire network is becoming unreliable." Chen allowed herself a moment of satisfaction before barking out orders. "Activate all sleeper cells. I want our people hitting every major Concordat installation within the hour. Zeke, start broadcasting on all frequencies. It's time to wake up humanity." Across the globe, a carefully orchestrated dance of chaos and rebellion began. In New York, Tokyo, London, and 100 other cities, hidden resistance fighters emerged from deep cover. They struck at Concordat communication relays, weapon caches, and command centers, taking advantage of the growing confusion in the alien ranks. On screens worldwide, Zeke's message began to play, breaking through the Concordat's information blockade. "People of Earth, this is not a dream. This is not a drill. For months, we have lived under the boot of alien oppressors who claim to bring harmony. Today, we show them the power of human discord. Rise up. Take back your homes, your cities, your planet." In orbit, aboard the Arbiter's ship, alarms blared as systems failed and conflicting reports flooded in. Elena fought to keep her expression neutral as Zarkon burst into the room, its usually swirling eyes now a chaotic maelstrom. "What is happening?" the alien demanded. "Our harmonization fields are collapsing. Reports from the surface make no sense." Elena feigned confusion and concern. "I don't understand. Could it be some kind of solar flare activity? or perhaps a malfunction in the quantum network. Before Zarkon could respond, the ship shuddered violently. Through the viewport, Alina saw flashes of weapons fire. A swarm of Earth's reverse-engineered ships, piloted by Chen's best fighters, had launched a daring assault on the Arbiter's vessel. "Impossible," Zarkon whispered, genuine fear in its multitonal voice. "How could they have developed such capabilities without our knowledge?" Alina allowed a small, fierce smile to cross her face. Never underestimate humanity's capacity for innovation, especially when our backs are against the wall. On the planet's surface, the battle raged. Concordat forces, cut off from their central command and unable to rely on their advanced targeting systems, found themselves outmaneuvered by human guerrilla tactics. Cities that had been under alien control for months erupted in rebellion, with ordinary citizens joining the fight alongside trained resistance members. In the Rocky Mountain bunker, Admiral Chen watched the unfolding chaos with grim satisfaction. "Phase 1 is complete," she announced to her team. "Now for the real test. Dr. Patel, are you ready?" The quantum physicist nodded, her fingers poised over a complex array of controls. "Ready, Admiral. On your mark." Chen took a deep breath, knowing that what came next would determine the fate of humanity. "Execute Phase 2. Dr. Patil activated a sequence that sent a precisely calibrated pulse through the quantum network. This wasn't just noise or disruption. It was a message, encoded in the very language of the Concordat's technology. In orbit, the Arbiter's form flickered and pulsed erratically as the message reached its ship. For the first time in eons, the supreme leader of the galactic Concordat experienced something akin to surprise. The message, when decoded, was simple yet profound. We are humanity. We are chaos and order, creation and destruction. We offer not submission, but partnership. Join us in redefining harmony. Attached to the message was a data package containing the sum of human scientific and cultural achievement, art, music, literature, scientific theories, and philosophical treatises. It was an offering and a challenge, a demonstration of humanity's potential to contribute to the galactic community. As the Arbiter processed this unexpected communique, the battle around Earth reached a fever pitch. Human forces, emboldened by their initial successes, pressed their advantage. Concordat ships fell from the sky, their advanced technology rendered unreliable by the Chaos Engine. In New York, Tokyo, and other major cities, the towering structures that had served as Concordat control centers began to topple, brought down by precisely targeted strikes. The sight of these alien monoliths crumbling sent waves of jubilation through the populace. Yet even as victory seemed within grasp, Admiral Chen knew the real battle was taking place on a quantum level, in the inscrutable mind of the Arbiter. Everything hinged on whether their gambit would pay off, whether they could convince this ancient being that humanity's chaos was not a threat, but an asset. Hours passed, the fighting gradually dying down as Concordat forces found themselves without direction or support. An eerie silence fell over the battlefields of Earth. All eyes turned to the sky, waiting for a response. Finally, after what seemed an eternity, a message boomed from the heavens, transmitted simultaneously in every human language and communication medium. "People of Earth, you have done the impossible. You have introduced uncertainty into the cosmic equation. The Galactic Concordat recognizes your unique potential and withdraws its forces. A new era of cooperation awaits, should you choose to accept it." In the Rocky Mountain bunker, in the streets of cities worldwide, and aboard the orbiting ships, humans erupted in celebration. Tears of joy and disbelief mingled as the realization set in. They had won. Earth was free. But Admiral Chen, Dr. Reyes, and the other leaders of the resistance knew that this was just the beginning. They had earned humanity a seat at the galactic table, but now came the hard part, proving that they deserved it. As the sun rose on a liberated Earth, the real work began. The work of rebuilding, of forging new alliances, and of charting a course for humanity among the stars. It would be challenging, often dangerous, but one thing was certain. Humanity would face it together, their spirit of resilience and innovation lighting the way forward. The echoes of their resistance would ripple across the cosmos, forever changing the face of galactic civilization. And in the quantum whispers between stars, a new harmony began to form, one that embraced the beautiful chaos of human potential. Alien revelation. The New York skyline, once dominated by the looming structures of Concordat control centers, now buzzed with a different kind of energy. Scaffolding surrounded the alien towers as human and Zarkonian workers labored side by side to repurpose them into centers of cultural exchange and scientific collaboration. Dr. Elena Reyes stood at the window of her office in the United Nations building, now restored to its original purpose as a forum for global and interstellar diplomacy. She watched a Zarkonian shuttle glide past, no longer a symbol of oppression, but a common sight in Earth's skies. Still hard to believe, isn't it? Admiral Kira Chen said, joining Elena at the window. The veteran warrior looked out of place in her formal diplomatic attire, but she wore it with the same determination she had once worn battle armor. Elena nodded, a wry smile on her face. If you had told me a year ago that we'd be preparing for our first galactic Concordat summit as equal partners, I'd have thought you were crazy. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of an unexpected visitor. Zarkon, the former emissary now serving as the Zarkonian ambassador to Earth, entered the room. Its swirling eyes, once a source of fear and mistrust, now held a hint of what Elena had learned to interpret as respect. Dr. Rice, Admiral Chen, Zarkon greeted them, its multitonal voice resonating with new harmonics. The Arbiter requests your presence aboard the Nexus. There are matters of great importance to discuss before the summit. Elena and Chen exchanged glances, an invitation to the Nexus, the massive space station that served as the seat of Concordat power, was unprecedented. Whatever the Arbiter had to share, it was clear that humanity's actions had shaken the very foundations of galactic society. Hours later, aboard a sleek diplomatic vessel, Elena, Chen, and a small team of Earth's brightest minds approached the Nexus. The space station defied human comprehension, its structure seeming to fold in on itself in impossible ways, sections appearing and disappearing as they watched. As they docked and were escorted through shimmering corridors, Elena couldn't help but marvel at how far they had come. Just months ago, they were fighting for survival. Now, they walked as equals among the stars. The Arbiter awaited them in a vast chamber that seemed to contain entire galaxies within its walls. The energy being's form pulsed with an intensity Elena had never seen before. Humans, the Arbiter's voice resonated on multiple frequencies. Your actions have set in motion changes beyond your imagining. The time has come for revelations long hidden. With a gesture, the Arbiter conjured a holographic display of the Milky Way. Specific points of light pulsed with energy, forming a complex pattern across the galactic arm. Behold the Harmony Network, the Arbiter explained. For eons, we have used this quantum entanglement grid to maintain order and peace across the galaxy. Your chaos engine did not merely disrupt our communications. It revealed flaws in the very fabric of our civilization. Admiral Chen stepped forward, her tactical mind immediately grasping the implications. You're saying our attack exposed vulnerabilities in your entire system of control. The Arbiter's form flickered in what Elena now recognized as acknowledgement. Indeed, but more than that, it has forced us to confront truths we had long ignored. The Concordat's insistence on harmony had led to stagnation. Your species' embrace of chaos and change offers a path forward we had not considered in millennia. Dr. Samira Patel, the quantum physicist who had been crucial in developing the chaos engine, spoke up. But why reveal this to us now? Surely this knowledge could be dangerous in the wrong hands. The Arbiter's response sent shockwaves through the human delegation. Because, Dr. Patel, we need your help. The Harmony Network is failing. The introduction of your quantum fluctuations has created a cascade effect that threatens the stability of thousands of civilizations across the galaxy. The implications were staggering. Humanity, in its bid for freedom, had inadvertently endangered the cosmic order. But before panic could set in, the Arbiter continued. This is not an accusation, but an opportunity. Your unique perspective, your ability to innovate in the face of adversity, may be the key to not just repairing the network, but evolving it into something greater. Alina felt the weight of this revelation settling on her shoulders. You're asking us to help redesign the fundamental underpinnings of galactic society. Us, a species that only achieved faster-than-light travel a few decades ago. The Arbiter's form pulsed with what could only be described as excitement. Precisely, Dr. Reyes. Your youth, your dynamism, your very unpredictability. These are the qualities needed to forge a new path forward. A path that balances harmony with growth, order with innovation. Admiral Chen, ever the strategist, narrowed her eyes. And what do we get out of this arrangement? Earth has only just tasted true independence. Why should we entangle ourselves in galactic politics? Zarkon, who had remained silent until now, stepped forward. Because, Admiral, the alternative is cosmic chaos on a scale you cannot imagine. Entire civilizations could collapse. Stellar empires might go to war. The galaxy could plunge into an age of darkness that would make your recent occupation seem like a golden era. The Arbiter nodded, its form rippling with grave intent. The Zarkonian speaks truth. But beyond averting catastrophe, consider the opportunities this presents. Access to technologies beyond your imagining. The chance to shape the future of the galaxy. A true seat at the cosmic table. Alina's mind raced with the possibilities. This was more than they could have ever dreamed of when they launched their desperate resistance. But it also came with immense responsibility. We'll need time, she said finally. Time to consult with our governments, our scientists, our people. This isn't a decision we can make lightly. The Arbiter's form pulsed with understanding. Of course. But know this, time is a luxury we may not have in abundance. The fluctuations in the Harmony Network grow with each passing moment. We estimate no more than one of your Earth years before irreversible damage occurs. As the human delegation prepared to return to Earth, laden with the weight of their new knowledge, Alina pulled Admiral Chen aside. Kira, she said, using the Admiral's first name for perhaps the first time, are we ready for this? To be the linchpin in reshaping the galaxy. Chen's face was a mask of determination. Ready or not, it's the hand we've been dealt. We fought for our place among the stars, Alina. Now it's time to prove we deserve it. As their ship detached from the Nexus, Earth glowing blue and green in the distance, Alina couldn't help but feel a mix of terror and exhilaration. They had won their freedom, but at what cost? And what challenges lay ahead as they worked to stabilize a galaxy they had inadvertently thrown into chaos. One thing was certain, humanity's greatest test was yet to come. The echoes of their resistance had become a clarion call, summoning them to a destiny beyond their wildest imaginings. As they raced back to Earth to share their newfound knowledge, Alina knew that the real work was just beginning. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what these unpredictable, innovative, chaotic humans would do next. And in the quantum whispers between stars, a new song began to form, a harmony of order and chaos, of ancient wisdom and fresh perspective, with humanity's voice rising strong and clear above it all. Galactic Paradigm Shift. The Grand Assembly Hall of the United Nations buzzed with an energy unlike anything in human history. Representatives from every nation on Earth sat side by side with delegates from 100 alien species. The air was thick with anticipation as Dr. Alina Reyes took the podium, flanked by Admiral Kira Chen and Zarkon, the Zarkonian ambassador. People of Earth, honored delegates of the Galactic Concordat, Alina began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. 1 year ago, we stood on the brink of annihilation. Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era for our planet and for the galaxy at large. Holographic displays flickered to life around the hall, showing the complex web of the Harmony Network spanning the Milky Way. Points of instability pulsed an angry red, growing more numerous by the day. The challenge before us is unprecedented, Elena continued. The very fabric of galactic society is unraveling. But in this crisis, we have found opportunity. An opportunity to forge a new path, one that balances the wisdom of the ancients with the dynamism of the young. Admiral Chen stepped forward, her military bearing a stark contrast to the diplomats around her. For the past year, our best minds have worked tirelessly alongside our new allies. We've pushed the boundaries of science, melding human innovation with technologies beyond our imagining. And we've made breakthroughs. With a gesture, Chen brought up a new holographic display. It showed a modified version of the Harmony Network, pulsing with a new rhythm that somehow felt more alive, more vibrant. We call it the adaptive resonance matrix, Chen explained. Unlike the rigid structure of the old network, this system is designed to evolve, to learn, to grow. It doesn't suppress chaos, it harnesses it. Murmurs of excitement and concern rippled through the alien delegates. Zarkon moved to the center, its swirling eyes reflecting the holographic display. Our Zarkonian scientists were skeptical at first, the ambassador admitted. The idea of introducing variability into the cosmic order seemed anathema to everything we believed. But we have seen the results. This new matrix doesn't just stabilize the fluctuations, it uses them to strengthen the entire system. Elena took control of the presentation, highlighting specific nodes in the galactic map. We propose a phased implementation, starting with the most unstable sectors. Earth will serve as the primary hub for the Western Spiral Arm, coordinating with Zarkonian and other Concordat races to manage the transition. The Arbiter's avatar materialized in the center of the hall, its energy form more focused than ever before. You have done the impossible, humans. You have shown us a way forward that we, in our eons of existence, had never conceived. The Galactic Concordat endorses this plan. Let the implementation begin. As the assembly erupted in a mix of applause and excited discussion, Elena felt a weight lift from her shoulders. They had done it. Humanity had not just earned its place among the stars, it had reshaped the very nature of galactic civilization. But this was just the beginning. In the months that followed, Earth became a hub of frenetic activity. The old Concordat structures, once symbols of oppression, were transformed into gleaming centers of research and innovation. Scientists from 100 worlds worked alongside human experts, pushing the boundaries of knowledge in ways that would have been impossible just a year before. Admiral Chen, much to her own surprise, found herself heading up a new branch of the United Earth Space Force, the Galactic Cooperation and Defense Initiative. Her task was to integrate human military thinking with the vast array of alien technologies now at their disposal, creating a flexible force capable of responding to threats across the galaxy. Never thought I'd be working with the same aliens we were fighting last year, Chen remarked to Elena during a rare moment of downtime. But I'll be damned if their tech doesn't make our old ships look like soapbox racers. Elena laughed, but her eyes were distant, focused on the challenges ahead. It's not just about the technology, Kira. We're rewriting the rules of how civilizations interact. The real test will be maintaining our humanity in the face of all this change. As if to underscore her point, a holographic alert materialized before them. Dr. Samira Patel's excited face appeared, her eyes wide with discovery. You need to see this, the quantum physicist said breathlessly. We've detected fluctuations in the adaptive resonance matrix that don't match any known pattern. It's as if the galaxy itself is trying to communicate with us. Elena and Chen exchanged glances. Just when they thought they were getting a handle on things, the universe threw them another curveball. But that was the point, wasn't it? To embrace the unknown, to challenge the boundaries of what was possible. Assemble the team, Elena said, a spark of excitement in her voice. Let's see what the cosmos has to say. As they hurried to the lab, Elena couldn't help but reflect on how far they'd come. From a species on the brink of subjugation to the architects of a new galactic order. The challenges ahead were daunting, But for the first time in cosmic history, they were being faced by a true union of young and old, chaos and order. The adaptive resonance matrix pulsed with new life, spreading across the galactic arm. In its quantum fluctuations, one could almost hear the echoes of humanity's resilience, a testament to the indomitable spirit that had brought them to this moment. And as Earth took its place as a beacon of innovation and cooperation in the vast cosmic sea, the message was clear: the age of rigid harmony was over. A new era had begun, one of dynamic equilibrium, of growth through diversity, of strength found in the very chaos that had once been feared. The galaxy would never be the same, and humanity, with its unique blend of audacity and adaptability, was ready to lead the way into this brave new cosmic frontier. As Elena stepped into the lab, ready to face whatever new mystery the universe had presented, she smiled. The echoes of their resistance had become a symphony of possibility, resonating across the stars. And this, she knew, was just the beginning of humanity's greatest adventure.